Wheelock, Chapter 11, Personal Pronouns. The personal pronoun in English is one of the only places where we still use cases. When I am the subject, I say I. When I am the direct object, I say me. You hurt me, I help you. Right? We change from I to me to indicate case. We also have the form my, the genitive. Kind of, except as we'll see, the personal pronoun Latin doesn't use the personal pronoun in the genitive the way we do. We use my to indicate possession, and they will generally not use the genitive personal pronoun this way, as we'll see. So, let's look at these forms. Most of this chapter, the grammar here is pretty straightforward. Most of this chapter is learning the forms. Ego for the first person singular, I, nominative, totally unpredictable, just have to learn it. Think of Freud's ego, right? It'll also work for the neuter. Id is it. Third person singular, we'll get there. That is the third person pronoun. These forms in general are 2-1-2. That is second declension masculines, first declension feminines, second declension neuters. There's no gender, of course, of the first person or second person pronoun. So these are basically second declension, third declension combos. They're irregular, is really the truth. There are certain points of contact, for instance, mei right here to mean for the genitive singular. That's pretty clearly drawing on the genitive singular of the second declension. And the plurals are quite nice. There looks something between a second conjugation and a third conjugation masculine endings. So that's of limited usefulness, I would say. Similarly, you kind of just have to memorize these forms: tu, tui, tibi, te. There's a pattern between tibi and mihi, me and te, tui and mei. There's a pattern within the pronominal system, but not strong patterns between the pronouns and outside. Not a lot more to say about that. Look at the use cases there. Then we get to our third. And these do belong to a pattern. The third person pronouns are 2-1-2 of the ius sort, which we just learned, of the ius genitive singular sort, which means that the genitive singular of all three genders, masculine, feminine, and neuter, the genitive singular is going to be eius. Very nice. It's going to be the same. We're going to find the same thing as with all of these ius kinds with the dative singular, ei. So, nominatives are a little bit unpredictable. You just have to memorize is, ea, id. But beyond that, it's just the letter E and the ending from a 2-1-2 adjective, so second declension masculine, first declension for the feminine, and second declension for the neuter, of the ius sort, just like alius and illa and the other demonstratives and the quantifying adjectives we learned for the last chapter. Okay, so those aren't that hard, I hope. I hope those are quite manageable. You've already learned how you do possession in Latin. You use your possessive adjectives. So you don't use mei, the genitive singular of the pronoun, to say my, the way we do in English. Instead, you use the adjective form meius. In fact, it's right here. You use the adjective form meius. And it declines like an adjective. It behaves like an adjective, so it's going to match in case, gender, and number. Not you, not me. It isn't my gender that is relevant here. It is the noun it's modifying. So if I want to say my sword, and it's a subject for some reason, it would be meius gladius. But if I want to say my garden, it'd be meum hortum, because garden is neuter. Likewise, if we want to pick a first declension or like a feminine, my rose would be mea rosa. So my rose. I'm masculine, but I still use the feminine form of meus to match the word it's modifying. Same with tuus, same with noster, except noster is an R class second declension, like wir and puer. So noster, but then nostri, nostro, nostrum, and all, etc. Same with wester, which is right here. So you possess, for possession, you don't use the pronoun. The genitive singular of the pronoun is only for non-possessive uses of the genitive. You instead use this adjectival forms you've already learned. So read this section, but this is basically it. Not that hard of a chapter, except a number of forms that are unpredictable that you need to learn. So it's kind of like just a little bit more vocab.